All right, so our topic tonight is how to avoid sounding like a salesperson. I know that one of the biggest things that people are afraid of when they jump in with a company like Beachbody is that stigma of an MLM, which is that we are salesy. And unfortunately, there are going to be those rotten eggs that do poison the water for all of us, but we want to set ourselves apart from the traditional MLM marketing scheme from a lot of other companies. You'll see things like Rodan and Fields, LuLaRoe. You'll get added to every group on the name of the planet with LuLaRoe. And so as coaches, we have to be intentional about setting ourselves apart from that and being different and not just being a salesperson. So this was a great topic that Heidi and Daniel suggested. And so I have kind of listed some of my top pointers and how to keep from being a salesperson. I feel like through trial and error and failing forward, I have figured out how to kind of navigate those waters and not be a salesperson. So this is a very key point for a lot of us because that's probably the number one thing that I hear from people. They say, I don't want to come across salesy. And let me tell you something, I don't want you to come across salesy either because then it's not true and genuine to our team and who we are. So I'm going to be a broken record on some of this, so just hang in with me. It's going to be stuff you probably heard before, but hopefully it'll reiterate that what you're doing is correct. So the first thing I would say is share your heart on your page. Your social media is your platform to have a ministry to help other people. And by sharing your heart authentically, sharing your journey for the world to see, no matter how scary that might be at the time, it is important in developing those relationships with those people that are watching you, your friends and your family and your quote-unquote following. They have to learn to trust you through your post on social media. They in turn find you relatable because you're sharing the good, the bad, the ugly, the in-between, and sharing yourself conquering those milestones and working towards yourself. You're not perfect, you're being relatable, but they're watching you and they feel like they can do it too because they are watching you as well. Okay? So the next point, first one is share your heart on your page. The second one is remembering, and this is hard sometimes in the moment, especially when we're pushing towards a specific goal in our business, but remembering that it's about a life that can be changed, not a point, not a Success Club point, not a commission check. It's about a life that you have the opportunity to change. And here's the biggest piece. Your motives will be evident in your conversation. And so if your motives and your heart is driven from a place of financial gain or Success Club point gain or whatever it is, that's going to be very evident in your conversation because you're going to come across very pushy and you're not going to come across like you're attentive to their needs. So just remembering that it's a life that can be changed. Do we want to connect them with Shakeology because we believe in the healing powers of this superfood shake? Absolutely. Is that going to be a good fit for everyone? No. Not in the beginning. Some people are going to have to ease their way into it with the base kit, and that's okay. That's still a life that you're changing and a life that you are able to impact. And even a relationship that you're building from step one. So the first one was share your heart on your page. The second is remembering it's about a life that can be changed, not a point or a commission check. Okay, so then now the meat. So that's like kind of the overarching theme. But the meat of where I feel like you can really master, hold on, I think we need to meet. Okay, there we go. Where I feel that we can avoid being salesy, but still be efficient as a business person, is having a follow-up system. This is something I was so terrible about the first probably 4 to 5 months of my business. When Jennifer and I joined as coaches, our upline went through a lot with their family, and so she had to take a step back from the business. So Jennifer and I figured out pretty much everything on our own. We were blessed to have Nate help with some things, but as far as follow-up systems and things like that, that was like completely left to the wolves. So over the course of the last probably 4 to 5 months, I feel like I found a good system and a good flow. So I'm going to share that with you. The first piece of that is you have to have some kind of a system. So I'm going to share with you, hopefully if I have it up, I'm going to pull up my screen and share screen and show you a couple options. Okay, so the first one is in our team page. This is a great place to start, especially for those of you newer coaches. This is just a printable that's in our Files tab in Fit Life Warriors. If you scroll down and open up the business activity tracker, I'll pull it up real quick. This basically shows you, it's a checkbox for every area of your business, from inviting to adding to your network, your social media posts, connecting with your team. It takes all the guesswork out of it. You can set as small or big a goals that you want to. There's a place for follow-ups at the bottom. This is a great start for intro into the business. Print out a couple of these, 4 of them for the month, and then make it your mission to be organized. Because your follow-ups will fall through the cracks if you don't have a system in place. And I'm speaking from experience with that. The other option, this is for those who are truly looking to be, for someone who's looking to retire from corporate America or has big lofty goals like that, then you're gonna need to have something that's a little bit more efficient organizationally. So I use something called teamz.com. This is another option. There's literally a million ways you can do this. But if you sign into Team Z, there's a place for you. So I've already completed half my stuff for today. But it tells you who to talk to next. It gives you a place to follow up. So it also is really great for managing challengers, because for me, I set my reminders for my challengers. If I have somebody that gives me a specific goal, they say, oh, I want to get 3 workouts in by Thursday. I set a reminder for Thursday, and I say, did you get your 3 workouts in? So it helps me manage the people that I'm working with. That's kind of for more in a long-term range. It does cost monthly for something like that. But the biggest thing is to have a system in place. If you're a pen and paper person, then that's perfect. As long as it's working for you, I would say give something 2 to 3 weeks to try. And if it's not working, move on and find something else. Try an Excel spreadsheet, try pen and paper, try Team Z, whatever. But don't spend a lot of time trying to make something work that's not naturally working for you. Because at some point you're going to have a lot of conversations going, and you're not going to want to forget about someone in the midst of your conversations, because I'm guilty of that. I'm still guilty of that. I'm not organized. So the other thing, the next part of that is to set a follow-up schedule. I'm going to read you mine. This is also in the files or in our team page as well. I actually have screenshotted this script and put it in the page. This system has worked really well. I've started using it about 3 months ago, and it has been good because it has taken the abrasiveness of follow-ups. So this is for someone that says, yeah, I definitely want to buy. Let me think about it. Let me talk to my husband, and I'll get back to you. So this is the type of system that you'll use in a scenario like that. So let me see if I can pull it up. It didn't let me screen share it last time I tried, so I'm not going to try again. Hold, please. I can't zoom out. All right, I'll tag you guys in the page. But basically, the first one is a very lighthearted, easy follow-up. It says something along the lines of, hey, so this would be within 24 hours. So, hey, Katie, it was so good talking to you yesterday. I just want to follow up with you on the 21-Day Fix Challenge Pack. Have you given it any more thought? I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Something very light and unabrasive. Then if they either respond or don't respond within 2 days, I send a second follow-up, and I said something along the lines of, hey, Katie, I'm really looking forward to hearing back from you. I definitely don't want to miss the opportunity to work with you. I'm so excited about all that 21-Day Fix can do for you. Please message me if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And then I just follow up one last time about 3 to 4 days later, and I tell them right away, this is my last follow-up. And I say, hey, you must be so busy right now. When things calm down, I'd love to hear from you. I run groups monthly, so please don't ever hesitate to reach out. I'd love to work with you at any point that your schedule allows. Take care and hope to hear from you soon. And that's it. So I don't follow up and send 7, 10, 8, 15 messages to someone. If they don't respond after a couple of follow-ups, they're not ready, and that's okay. So by having your follow-ups be lighthearted and not aggressive in the way that they're worded, that has really helped me. So having a system, having a schedule. So in your head for each conversation, you decide, okay, usually you're going to have a 3-day window to where you're going to be able to seal the deal with those people. Seal the deal. That sounds terrible, but it is. I mean, that's what it is. You'll have a 3-day window until the enthusiasm and excitement goes away. So I encourage you to have that follow-up system in place within those first 3 days to at least reach out twice. And if 2 is your good number and your happy place, then move on after that and don't worry about it. I also ask their permission to follow up. When they say to me, this looks amazing, I just need to ask my husband for permission and then I'll get back to you, I immediately respond with, that sounds wonderful. I'm so excited to work with you. I think we can make a great dent in your goals. May I have your permission to follow up with you in a couple of days if I haven't heard from you? 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. And then they're expecting your follow-up in a couple of days. And it shows that you have, you are solid in your business side of things and that you're going to be there for them in their journey because you did follow up with them when you said you were going to follow up with them. So that was one of them, is do the follow-ups. That's the biggest thing, is if you have a system in place and make sure those follow-ups happen, because I really, really, really struggled with this the first 4 to 5 months of my business. I just didn't have a system at all. So every couple of days I was trying to go back to like the last 4 to 5 days worth of messages, and everything was getting shifted down and it just didn't work and it stressed me out. So having a system in place will be really helpful. This part sucks. I'm just going to be honest with you. You have to remember that they have to be the ones to want the change. We are passionate about the products. We know what it can do for our health. We believe in the power of Shakeology. But in the end, we can't make that change for them. And if they're on the fence, then the timing just may not be right. They have to hit rock bottom. And a lot of us have those moments, so we can really relate to what that feels like. They have to hit that point where they're ready for that change. And just because they say no in the moment, or they blow you off, or they ignore your follow-ups, just means like emotionally they may not be in a place where they can handle it right now. And they're not going to be successful because mentally they're not ready to tackle it. So remembering that they have to be the ones to want to change. And that's really, really hard for me because I'm so passionate about what we can do for them and what having a coach can do for them. It's really hard for me to accept no because I know what it can do for them. But at the same time, they have to be the one to accept the change and be the one to make that change. And right on the heels of that, run with the willing. So, a lot of us that signed up, we were willing and ready and had that moment, and we said, run with it. So don't stress over the ones who give you the runaround, and I don't, it's not that they're not worth the time and the effort. It just means that their timing may not be right. So run with the willing, be excited about the willing, and let go of the rest. But by letting go, I mean keep a list of them. So keep a list of the no's and the not nows, because these are relationships that you will be building. They just might need a friend for a few months. And then in a few months, they'll have watched your journey, they'll have watched your transformation, and they'll finally have that moment for themselves, and they'll say, all right, fine. I trust you. You're the one that I want to do this with. Where do I sign up? And it'll be like they're handing you $40 right there because they're ready. So just have a list of those. That's something I also didn't do in the beginning, and I really wish I had, because I have no idea who I talked to during that first 6 months. But now I keep a list of the no's or the not nows, and I continue to invest in those every couple weeks, every couple of days, just depends on the person. So keep a list, and I would encourage you to not get discouraged in the process. One of the things that I see every day in my coaches is that they get discouraged by the no's and the not nows. And you got to remember that that's not a personal reflection of you as a coach or you as a person. That's just them not being ready. And you've got to continue to invest in that relationship and build that relationship. But just remember that those no's, that those invites are worth it because they turn into yeses in a matter of time. I've had more, I can distinctly see a ripple effect from those first 6 months of inviting and hearing no at every single turn. And now 6 months in, they've seen my success, they've seen my business grow, and then it was just like a cascade of people ready to do it with me. Because I had been consistent, I showed up, I did my workouts, I got results, I was proof of the product, I was passionate because I love the products, and I just continued to help people out of that passion. And that's where I refused to let that get me down, because I knew that someday those would turn into yeses, and it has. So if you're in that first 6 months of your business, I encourage you to not let that get you down, because if you continue to be consistent, it will be a cascade effect. And now, if you're not consistent, it won't be. So don't expect it to just be like in 6 months, that's the magic number, and God just dumps 50 people in your lap. If you're not consistent, it's not going to happen. But if you are, it will definitely be worth all those invites and all those no's and all those not nows. So the last thing is products tell, stories sell. So this goes for our journey on social media. This goes for behind the scenes. One of the things that has worked well for me is this phrase called, when you're facing an objection and somebody says, oh, it's so expensive, I just can't, that's so much money, which you're going to hear every day, using the words feel, felt, found. And you might have heard of this before, but that process is amazing. And Nate introduced it to us a few months ago, and I was just like, oh my gosh. You basically say, I know exactly what you're feeling. I felt that way too when I first found out the price. I was in sticker shock. So then you weave in your story and you say, I was spending a lot of money in drive-thrus. I didn't see the value in it. I was afraid it wasn't going to work. And then you tag in, I have found that Shakeology actually isn't that expensive, because it's only $3.80 a serving, and I was spending $5 and $6 on a combo in the drive-thru. So that helped me to overcome the sticker shock. So using that feel, felt, found in every situation. If somebody says, this goes the same thing for working out. They say, oh, I could never work out like that. You're just good at it. I say, I remember feeling that way too. I felt like I could not do XYZ, but I have found that by pushing play consistently and making small changes, I was able to reach my goals. So that's a really great system, because it makes you relatable, and it helps you tell your story and share your experience in a way that's not aggressive and let me shove some products in your face, because we definitely don't want to be that. And I think if you're leading with the correct motivation, and it's not from a commission or points-based motivation, then you're going to be fine. You're sharing your heart authentically, and it's going to show in your messaging. But I just would say, don't stress over those who ignore you. I send out, at this phase of my business, I did not start out this way. I was sending like 1 to 2 invites a day, maybe when I first started out. But now I'm sending out a higher number. 90% of my invites are ignored. So just to wrap your brain around a number, 90% of them people just straight out ignore, even people whose relationships I've been investing in. But that 10% are people that are like, yes, I've been so afraid to message you, but I really have wanted to learn more, and can you tell me about it? And so just know that those ignores have turned into yeses also. So those are my biggest recommendations on how to avoid being a salesman. So I'm going to open it up to questions, and we can go from there. So does anybody have any specific questions as far as the follow-up system or how to avoid being a salesperson or anything like that? Katie, go for it. Hold on. Okay, now try. I still can't hear you. It says you're Yeah, try that. No. Type it in the comments. Can you type it in the comments? Anybody else have one while she's working on that? I'm trying to see if it will let me. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.